Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. You guys, a little disclaimer, I am losing my voice, so if I do sound a little husky again, because your girl always gets sick. I'm not sick, but I feel like I'm losing it. But that is just my little disclaimer, so bear with your girl. This is my full review of the Sims 4 Life and Death expansion pack. I'm not being paid, but I was just kindly gifted an early access release on this brand new expansion pack super early thanks to the EA Creator Network. I unfortunately wasn't able to play this game as long as I would have hoped, but I was really busy and I haven't been able to use the full time that I was given, and that's just my fault. But I think I got everything that I needed. I want to walk you through everything in this video. We'll go through all the new features and I'll let you know what I think is good and what's bad and whether or not I think this pack is actually worth buying. Also, side note, I apologize for the annoying watermark that's floating across the screen. It's just on the game. I didn't put it there. There's no way that I can actually remove it, so I apologize for that in advance. But before I actually go into the new expansion pack, there was actually a really big base game update. The Sims even suggested that if you have mods or custom content, you may want to remove the backup save files. They're also giving time for some creators to do updates on their content to prevent potential in-game issues. And I heard a lot of people were having issues with their reshades now and a lot of their custom content, so I hope that you guys are able to fix whatever's happening in your game right now. This update was huge, including new ghost updates, customizable grave sites, a new moment of death reactions. You can even woohoo the Grim now, which I'm so happy they brought back, a new selection for occults, and much more. But all this is now available for all players. If you want to see a full depth walkthrough of that base game update, I will link a video down below if you want to take a look. But I would love to talk about the brand new ghost feature in this pack because it has completely been revamped. Once you're in cast, you can automatically see this question mark, and this new button actually lets you pick the cause of death for your sim. No longer will you have to wait for your sim to die in the most horrific way possible that you did to them, but you can actually just go straight into cast and make a ghost. You can also mix and match with different occults too. In the new base game update, you can literally choose whatever occult that you want, which is freaking amazing because if I make an amazing sim and I love them so much, and then I'm like, wait, this would have been perfect if they were a vampire, and then I can't do that. So I'm so happy that we can do that now. But disclaimer that this footage is before the brand new update again, so it doesn't show where you can change the occult for your sim. But from here you can actually choose how your sim died, so it's cross-pack compatible, so you have all the pack deaths here. You can say your sim died from drowning, death by rabbit, mold, or even one of my favorites now is death by murder of crows. That is brand new in this expansion pack. Each death has a really cool animation around your sim. When you die by a murder of crow, the crow will literally start floating like in your sim. It's creepy. You can also toggle the ghost overlay on and off, which is really helpful if you want to have a better idea of what your sim actually looks like. So you can keep them in ghost form, or you can kind of have them in like a normal human form. If you have cats and dogs or horse ranch, animals can only die of old age, but now if you want, you can make them into an elder pet, and then you can automatically turn them into a ghost. I would love if I just had like a witch that had like a little ghost cat or something. I think that's really cool. Children, can someone tell me if I'm wrong? Girl, I haven't played gameplay in like a month and I can't remember, but children can also die, right? Is that a thing that is now a thing? I can't remember. But children are also able to die by death of drowning and death by fire. I'm also not too sure if these eyes were presets, if they're new with the base game, but I thought they were kind of creepy and cool. With this pack, there are 3 new traits that we received. We have Chased by Death, Macabre, and Skeptical. Chased by Death are Sims that want to live life to the fullest. They want to live life on the edge. They also have like an urgency to complete their bucket list. I noticed though, when you turn your sim into a ghost, it actually turns it into Embraced by Death instead of Chased by Death. They are basically just happy now because they're not human and they can roam free without care, but they still have the desire to achieve goals and learn new skills or complete like unfinished business. Macabre Sims are not afraid of death. They're kind of like a Wednesday almost. They might get excited to see a cult. They think like ghosts are pretty cool. Also, speaking of Wednesday, they also added like a new dance, maybe something you're familiar with. Skeptical or skeptics are basically what you think it is. They doubt in the occult or the supernatural. They might ask a ghost to actually like prove themselves that they are a ghost because they just want like concrete proof. Something that isn't here, but something that you might unlock over time is a brand new reward trait. With this brand new pack, you can officially try for baby with the Grim Reaper, which is something that you could not do before, but I'm so happy that they brought it into this pack. And what comes with with that, alongside of it, is a unlocked trait, like I mentioned before, called the Grim Baby, or Descendant of Grim. Now, I tried to do this in my game, but my computer, it wasn't The Sims, but my computer just completely, like, it turned off and all my progress was gone. So I was trying to have a baby with him, and my sim was like literally on the 3rd day, and my computer just completely like left. So I went around and I found a townie that is actually the Grimm's baby. He's the child. He's got lore. Okay, girl, he's got lore. The child of death will have like a special mark underneath their ear. It has like a scythe mark. It's really cool. It comes with perks, and your sims can like live longer. They can even have like some unique interactions with other sims, and it's just kind of like your Grimm's baby. So you got cool perks. I would just say that. With this expansion pack, we also have one new aspiration, which I'm kind of surprised about, but I mean, considering everything that we have in this pack, it's okay. We got one new aspiration from this pack called the Ghost Historian. The sim really wants to interact with the paranormal and document it. They also want to write horror novels, which is like a new thing now. Yeah, isn't that crazy to think in The Sims 4 we've gotten here, and that is the first time that we have horror novels in the game. So your sim basically wants to be able to finish that level to be able to write horror novels. And along with that, you also unlock a small skill called the Thanatology skill, which unlocks a death tongue that your sims can speak in, which is actually a real thing, which is really, really cool. And I didn't know that. Before this, I didn't really use ghosts all that much, but I think with this pack, I actually loved playing with them for the small amount of time that I had, and I've actually gotten so much inspiration to make some really spooky builds, so I'm really excited to do that. I do builds, I do casts, but there's so much stuff that I can't show everything because, girl, we're gonna be here all freaking day, but I will link somewhere where you can see all of the different types of cast items and build items all in the same spot. But with the outfits of this pack, it was kind of like a mix between like chic historian meets like modern Romanian castle vibes almost, plus like a crow outfit and something that I actually might be wearing this Halloween. Let's be honest. If you switch to a ghost, you do unlock some extra clothing, which were a little bit more torn down. They're a little bit more spooky. They looked so cool. I won't go through every single thing like I mentioned before, but I hope it's a little helpful to see these items styled on a few different sims. We actually got a couple of things for like children's and toddlers and even infants as well. So I'm really happy that there is like a mixture for all different types of ages. I think a lot of these items had such like a cute little touch to them with like the little ghost outfit. I think that's so cute. It was the cutest thing in the world. I do want to mention that toddlers and infants have no new hairs, but obviously the children do have the overlapping hairs that they will share with the adults. For the adults, there are 10 new hairs for the feminine frame sims, and there is 9 new hairstyles for the masculine frame sims. Every single item fits in perfectly with a brand new loosely inspired Romanian fantasy. I'm surprised that we didn't get any tattoos in cast, but you do get a tattoo later on in the pack, and I will explain to that very soon. First, this new world is called Ravenwood. There are 3 neighborhoods and 14 lots total, if we count the Grim lot, which we'll talk about shortly. But the first neighborhood is called the Crow's Crossing. This is like the main village. There are 5 lots in this neighborhood. There's a cemetery, and then there's 4 residential lots with a bunch of like new townies, which I love. You should really read the stories. I think they're really cool. Not a lot of supernatural things happen in here, but you can explore some of the haunted houses around town, or you can even visit the city hall to read archives, even make like a will, or camera focus on things around the town to help you find things better. So there's so many like little quests and little things that you can kind of explore in this world. So it's really helpful if you want to choose something like specific, and it will bring you to that spot without you having to like look around the map and being like, where is everything? The main village section is actually quite large. You can see from the map there's a lot of set dressing happening, but there's a lot of things placed over the village to do, especially with like all the festivals that happen, which we'll get into. But over here, this is called Whispering Glen. It's more of like the countryside of the world. It's a little bit more slower pace. It's a little bit more spread out than the Hemford on Bagley world, if that makes sense. Like, you know, Hemford on Bagley was more like farmland. This is like farmland. There's 1 local bar and there's 3 residential lots. And up here is Morningvale, and by far one of my most favorite worlds. But like this little village, this little section is perfect for Halloween. You guys, I love it. The ambiance, the world, like it's just like all the colors, the spooky vibes. It's so fun. It's kind of where all the ghosts reside. It's like a veil, so it's like another world kind of over there. The water is kind of separating each of the different neighborhoods, and this is kind of like on the other side. You know, you got friends on the other side, and the occasional rich townie that will walk around really, really awkwardly, and then you look at them and you're like, why are you here? Over here we have the one nightclub, and again 3 residential lots. From the bell tower kind of going off on weird hours and occasionally seeing Grimm hovering around, I find this otherworldly neighborhood to be actually really enchanting. I love the atmosphere and it just fits perfectly for Halloween. This is a little side note, but I kind of wish I would have seen like maybe a smaller lot over in this section over here. Maybe like some like creepy abandoned old, I don't know, like barn or something. Like I felt like that could have been kind of cool. But I mean, 13 lots is what we had before with the Love Struck expansion pack, so that's okay. Plus, again, we got one more for the Grimm lot, so like speaking, we got more. Right? We got more. But you can only access this lot through the Grim Reaper career, kind of like the lab or the police station from Get to Work. But this lot looks so freaking cool. And if you use the right cheat code, I bet you could totally build on this lot too. This lot has a portal, kind of like the Realm of Magic, but it works a little bit differently. You know, instead of going to like a magical realm, you kind of get teleported to like dead bodies, and then you need to clean them up, and then, you know, asked to get reviewed on how well your service was. And I think that's amazing. Yeah, the Grim Reaper career is actually pretty fun. Going to a home where Sims are absolutely losing their mind over a family member dying while you swoop in, but you have to swoop them up and then you have to ask them how you did was just, it's just peak humor to me, honestly. There's a lot of dark humor in this pack, and I actually love that The Sims did this. I kind of missed having that old kind of darkish humor, and I'm happy that they kind of brought some back. If you want to join the Grim Reaper job, there's actually quite a bit of ways to actually start. There's always easy ways, kind of like going on your phone and just finding a job. You can actually go to like a local crypt and start there. You can actually go find Grim if he's out for a walk, or I guess hover and ask him, or you can be like me and I got a call from Grim himself asking if I would want to join the dark side. Again, I didn't have much time playing the game, but there might be more ways. This career is an active career, which means that you can follow your Sims to work and play through them. And once you arrive at work, you're gonna see a series of tasks that you need to accomplish. Every day, something different happened with me. One day I had to fix the portal, and then another day I was reaping souls. Some of the tasks that I had to do were like sharpening my scythe, practicing reaping on dummies, or even expelling an unwanted ghost from the property. But once you do those, you can go to like the creepy bird bath thing and then look into the portal and then head to your assignment. Sims that are being reaped in the career will be a mix of newly generated Sims and NPC Sims that are around the world. But once you get there, you'll find the body and then you have to find like the cause of death and talk to witnesses. So you're almost kind of playing like police, like detective for a second, which I think is kind of funny. And then you gotta listen to someone plead to you, and that's where you find out whether you're a good person or not. I'm just kidding, kind of. Basically, you gotta determine whether or not you want to revive the Sim or reap their soul. But you're like, oh, Jamie, I just want to like revive them because that might be the right thing to do. Well, you would be right there, but there's a problem, you know? When you go into the office, there's a chest, and in that chest there's a quota, and that quota must be fulfilled, and if you don't meet that quota you can get into a lot of trouble. So choose your options wisely. But once you decide to do the right thing, you can ask that Sim for a review, and you know, that's amazing. You can head back to HQ to drop off your souls into the portal of death, basically. You can't reap any souls outside of working hours though, so you can't just like scoop up Jeffrey Landgrab out of like existence. There's also another job for a mortician or a funeral director. Like it's mortician slash funeral director, but it's like a rabbit hole career and it's not active, so you can't really join your Sims. I hadn't tried that one, but I mean, it's just a rabbit hole. So you're just kind of like going along, and if something pops up, you're basically just like cleaning funeral homes, you know, and like dressing the dead. It's kind of creepy, you know, fun things. But speaking of funerals, that's also a new thing. Funerals can now be held at any time, kind of like, you know, as long as like your Sim is, you know, you can have as many funeral events per Sim as you'd like, but once your Sim has passed away, you can either go to your phone or your computer to like start the event. It's kind of the same thing as planning other events, except it's just more morbid things. You can pick the person who is deceased, you can choose the guest, and you can even hire a mourner. Yeah, you can just like hire random people to mourn you. That's amazing. I'd hire so many people. Like that would make me feel so special. You can choose a spot to host it and the activities that you want to do, like lighting candles, perform eulogies, drink, and stuff like that. You can also set a dress code. I chose everyone to come out in their workout clothes. I don't know. You can change the way the casket looks by adding flowers or adding a drape over it, which I think is a really cute touch. You can also have an altar for your Sims and customize it the way that you want as well. So you can add like little things that, you know, maybe the deceased Sim really liked during the time that they were living. So you can kind of add that to the altar as well. Another great thing is that if you actually forgot to take your photo of your Sim, which I do all the time, I'm so bad with that, it will actually automatically generate a photo for you. So if you forgot, that's okay. I found that the tasks that were performed went actually surprisingly smooth. I mean, considering what happened with like wedding stories, you know, girl, she's a little wonky. At least for me, it went okay. I was waiting for my Sims to just leave or not show up in their proper attire, but they actually did, but I questioned that skirt. I don't think that's a workout skirt. Once you finished all your eulogies inside and did like, you had food and you drank, you can now go outside and go to the graves to choose what one that you want to use for your deceased Sim. You can choose what tombstone you want and you can add a little note on it as well. You can have your gravestone on one of like the little plots, or you can actually put them into the crypts. Now the crypts around the world, you can like sleep in them, you can store urns in them, you can actually join the Reaper career through it, or you can explore kind of like the caves that you'd see and like kind of like what you would do in like Salvadorado during like the caves and stuff like that. You'll get really cool rewards like tarot cards, which we'll get into later. And I mean, girl, you can woohoo in them. Duh, of course you can. With woohoo, you can also woohoo in a coffin. I believe that was only exclusive for vampires, if I'm not mistaken, but now regular Sims can do that. Now, after your funeral, if you made a will, you will receive it in the mail a day or two after the event. Making a will is also pretty easy. You can make one over the computer or at the city hall or at the Ravenhood Family Day Festival. There's like a lawyer and you can go and they can like help you write it and all that stuff, which is kind of fun. You can write a little note and customize it in any way that you want. You can choose the way that your Sims will respond to that said note based on their personalities / relationships that they might have had with the deceased Sim. Like if you have a relative that's like super loving and caring and had a great relationship with your Sim, you know, they might cry more. They might go into like a state of depression or grieve longer than, you know, maybe other Sims. Well, if you had like a Sim that had like a bad relationship with the deceased, then they might not show any emotion and they might even get angry if they don't like receive any money or anything like that. Like it's kind of cool to see. You can also choose where your money goes when you go in percentages. Like if you want 10% of your money to go to charity, or if you want 100% of your money to go to charity, you can kind of choose whatever. You can also send the money to like a different household if you want as well. So if you want to like make like a joke and have a silly emotion tied to it, Sims might laugh when listening. And if your Sim had a child or an animal, you can now will them to different households. So if you have like godparents or something, you can will over, like if you pass, you can send them over there and they won't just randomly disappear. They'll stay in a gallery in the game, so they don't just like disappear forever, which is really cool. You can't give estates though. Like you can't give your home to anyone, but you can make heirlooms. But heirlooms are actually a new thing in this game as well. Heirlooms are objects that get passed down by generation and generation, and you can make almost literally anything an heirloom. You can add little notes again to attach to it, like a little story. It is cross-pack compatible with this, so you can literally make anything an heirloom. If your Sim like crafted a necklace, you can choose that to be an heirloom and then write like a little note on it saying something like, this was made in 1895 by my great grandma Beatrice, or something like that. Which just adds a little bit more depth to the story for your Sims, which is again amazing. I did mention festivals for a quick second, but I just want to dive into those really quickly. Festivals happen very frequently around this world, and every single one of them brings something a little new. In Morningvale, there's a festival, if you want to call it that. It's named Afterlife Anonymous, and to me, it's kind of like it's cute. It's like a therapy session for ghosts, kind of. There's like coffee and there's food, and ghosts can like talk about how they got there, and I love it, and I just think it's adorable. It would have been kind of cool if there's like a section maybe where they could like practice their ghostly skills, but overall, the vibe is vibing. It's cute. Another one is called Moon Revelry, I believe. I got invited to this, and it's cool. cool when it's not on like a full moon, you know, because you can dance around, you know, the campfire and listen to spooky music and eat food, and it's really cool just until you see that there's an option to wear clothes only on a full moon. And if you do go on a full moon, there is probably a good chance that everyone will be in the nude. So do with that information as you will. I really like the little ghosts that are on the Crows Crossing Festival. Like there's this little guy named Freddy. I love Freddy. I will go to war for Freddy, okay? You don't understand. I love Freddy. He's so freaking cute. He has a little bow tie. He has like a little mustache and he's adorable. And you can talk to him and ask to be like consoled if you're experiencing grief, and they'll make you feel better. Like, how cute. But something that you can also talk about with Freddy that has a cool storyline in this world is actually ask about Alice's sorrow. Now, Alice is one of the two ghosts that are kind of staying to one area of the world, and they have their own unique backstory. Alice is a weeping mother who had drowned and lost her children, and she kind of looks scary, but with like a very sweet mom who's just looking for the rest of her family, and I feel so bad for her. She sits under like this beautiful guardian tree listening to whispers, and you can summon Alice and scavenge for objects, and you can refill your needs. It's a really cool spot, and having like a sim have their own like little story is just really cool. Edith is the other ghost sim that haunts the woods. She has like her own like little grave, and you can read it, and it will kind of give you again some backstory. Basically, Edith is a little girl who drowned and has much more or less been forgotten, or she feels like she's been forgotten. She can either be really scary and make your sim like pass out, or you can get lucky. She might like you, and then you might get lucky yourself. You can attempt to communicate with her, but if she doesn't like you, you're probably gonna get screamed at. But if you do get her to like you, you can receive a mark from her called the Mark of Edith, which will give you a chance at a better outcome at the Well of Longing and Regret, which you can like wish for money, you can wish for luck in love. It's kind of like the wishing well from Romantic Garden stuff, if that kind of helps you understand it. Little things like this are just like so cool to me, and having sims with stories like this is so neat, and it just gives the world some more like lore and personality, and it makes you feel so immersed in it, and I love it. So obviously ghosts are a huge part of this expansion pack, and a lot of us wanted this occult to have a huge makeover, and that is what they did. As soon as your sim dies, you will receive a pop-up. You get two options, or three. You can either be a playable ghost or become a free roaming ghost. A playable ghost is just putting you back into your family, and you can play with them like any other family member, but you know, you're a ghost. Or you can become a free roaming ghost, and that's basically the way that ghosts were before, where they kind of just show up on your lot occasionally, and they just like come and like break things and do whatever. Once you turn into a ghost though, you might see that your needs section has been completely revamped. Like, for example, goo waste is for your bladder, fun ethereal substance is hunger, ethereal bonding is social, and otherworldly slumber is sleep, and apparition cleansing is hygiene. And the other the ethereal substance. Along with your brand new needs, ghosts will now have a skill tree. Just like spellcasters, werewolves, and vampires, your ghosts will have a healthy stamina bar to track how much energy you're actually using up. And then you have a ghost mastery tree. On one side, it's the benevolent blessings. This is basically the good and evil of the tree. If you stay on the blue path, you will unlock good abilities like detecting Sims' moods and calming them, and give them a calming embrace to remove their negative feelings, or even give like an extension on their Sims' lives. And if you obtain all the good abilities on the tree, your ghost will be rewarded with the Mark of Good, and it is solely reserved for the most goodest of boys. Really. The other side though, or the fun side, is the evil abilities, or the otherworldly curse. Here your Sims can perform like Levitator, which can literally shake down Sims for cash. Or you can even give your Sims like little nightmares when they're sleeping. While unlocking all of these, going up from the ranks of a little whispling to a transcendent wrath, you will get rewarded with the Mark of Evil for only of the malicious ghosts. There are also just some random ones called like Transcendent Woohoo. You literally can turn a living Sim into a temporary ghost for ethereal woohoo. Yes, where you can possess an everyday object and basically woohoo in it. Like what? You can gain experience points by performing like ghostly abilities, just like the other cults do. And then that's the way that you'll kind of move up in the rankings. Sims can now interact with other Sims while they're dying as well. These reactions are solely dependent on your Sim's relationship with that dying Sim, as well as their emotional state before witnessing the death. Like the new interactions are like an awkward view, confusion, disgust, or you can like cry. Oh, right, yeah. I also saw up on Hilda. She was just like randomly possessing like, I think it was like a cannon or something. She just kept like possessing. Some lot traits that have also revolved around ghosts is the hollowed ground lot trait. Now, this trait isn't only exclusive to residential lots. So you can also have like a haunted cafe or like a haunted bowling alley, which is great. And things will happen like the TV will go static, lights will flicker, you'll see cold spots or fog. And if you have this spooky stuff pack, you can actually layer on top of the hollow grounds trait for a mega haunted house. How sick is that? I want to play the paranormal job because I haven't done that yet, so stay tuned. I'm actually going to post a video soon of me playing that and we can try it out. I think it'll be really cool. Another huge add-on to this pack is having a soul's journey. Now, this is a big thing in this pack, okay? It's basically making sure that your Sim is living their life to the fullest. And it's basically helping your Sims fulfill your journey with rewards, with various perks to help them in life and death. Every time that you finish a milestone, the bar will fill. So when your Sim completes like a want or an aspiration or gets a job promotion at work, completing a skill or goal, that bar again will fill. And I really like this because they're not small things. Like it will take you a while for you to get that promotion or get a level 10 skill. So I'm glad that it makes you feel like you're truly getting rewarded when the bar goes up. It will stop at a certain point. Once that bar hits that clock, that means that your Sim can now leave the world in peace. If they have like no regrets, right? But once your Sim dies, again, you'll have that option of becoming a living ghost or a free roaming ghost. There is also one thing called rebirth. Your major reward will be the ability to reborn. And the rebirthing system can be at any point. So if your Sim is having fun being a ghost and you want to rebirth, you can just head down to the Baleful Bog at the Morning Vale and dive into like this beautiful water that looks like something like straight out of Avatar. Like it looks like it just like threw up in this pond. You can choose to either be like a baby or come back as like a full-blown adult. Babies usually just like float down all nice and like sweet, and then adults just kind of like smack into the ground. It's really funny. But you can customize this rebirth Sim, because if you really love your Sim and you just want to keep playing them, you can just like rebirth into like your old home, or you can rebirth into like a townie home. So I'm gonna come back like in a rich family. Are you kidding me? Duh. You might actually bring some certain traits that you had in your past life onto your new life. Like if they were like super active, they might actually unlock the like motion skill for like babies if they came back as like a baby, so you don't have to work for that. Or if they were evil in their past life, you know, you come back as an adult, they might be evil again in this life. You don't know, you know, so that's great. And like I mentioned really briefly, we did have a goal system as well. Now, this will be tied up into your bucket list to help you try to find new things in game, but it'll also help you fill the bucket list bar. There are over like 100 goals. Yeah, it's crazy. And they will naturally accumulate over time on this like graph for your Sim, or they can write their own on like a computer or a journal. And these are things for your Sim to finish before they die, basically. Or they can even do it in Ghost. In the unfinished business section, you actually have some options to choose from like writing a goal to writing a perfect goal or writing from a category. Writing a goal will be random. There are 4 slots for each one of them to fill up one by one, and it'll kind of base off of depending on like your Sim's personality or things they like to do. And I got another one that said visit Forgotten Hollow in Oasis Springs, which actually requires a level 10 handiness skill. Pretty crazy considering how long it takes to actually get there, but we've wanted that for such a long time to actually give us a challenge that will take us a while, so I'm happy that we have this now. And then the other option is writing a goal from a category. It's kind of like Jeopardy, but you can choose the categories like travel, success, adventure, to name a few. If you choose success, it will say like make 100 simoleons or something like that, which is not an easy task. I mean, for some. The other one is writing a perfect goal. So your sim, this is like a specific goal. Your sim might not actually be able to unlock it right away. You might need some additional life experience in order to rate that specific goal. You might actually have to like attend things like a festival or have the chase by death trait or witness like a sim die. But once you do that, and then that's when you can actually choose specific goals from this list and then do it that way, and they can leave and you can keep them and all that fun stuff. I mean, you can't have an expansion pack without a brand new death. I'm weirdly surprised we only got one. Yeah, like, I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm really happy because I really like it, but like, I'm surprised. But this death that we got is literally death by crow. You can purchase a crow from the build buy and then have it in your home. You can feed it, you can name it, you can teach it mimicry, give it gifts. You can send them to retrieve cool objects, just like I mentioned before with like your cats and dogs. Like my crow went out and got me like a giant gem. Nice. If you have the macabre trait, you can also discuss like plans with your crow, and like they have like a little devilish laugh. I think it's really cute. Honestly, couldn't stop thinking of having like a spellcaster sim that has like a crow, a ghost cat or something. I just think that would be so fun to me. And of course, if you provoke it enough times, or if you have the chase by death trait and do it once, you're gonna die. If you have the chase by death trait, I don't recommend having a crow because you will get no warning. And then of course your sim will die and you'll have this like creepy crow just floating in your body rent free. Tarot cards are also a thing in this pack, which I love. The Sims actually sent some cards out to Simmers and I was actually lucky to receive some. I will literally frame these because they're just so freaking beautiful. Tarot cards can be found around Ravenhood or actually just purchasing a stack in build mode. Sims can perform tarot card readings to themselves or others. They can even predict like a potential death for a sim, which is kind of scary. I don't like that at all. Once you gathered a bunch of tarot cards, you can actually create your own collection, which will unlock additional effects and like interactions with the deck. You can also do nightly readings to yourself, which will kind of like guide you into more gameplay if you choose to follow the quest. If you're looking for new quests, you can head to a podium and it has like an eerie message and then it shows a bunch of Sims on the bottom. Now these Sims will be offering quests for you to kind of like go around the world, and it will allow you to collect a bunch of different types of tarot cards. If you actually check your collections section, it will show you what ones that you do have and what you don't, and if you hover your mouse over it, it will kind of give you like helpful hints along the way that you'll be able to find those tarot cards, which are really cool. We also do get like a really cool little merchant stall, but it's just for decoration, which is kind of disappointing because it's so freaking cute. Someone please make this like a thing. Like any modders who are watching, please. Another townie that you might want to actually look out for is this merchant guy. He's a ghost and he kind of hangs around the cemetery, or at least that's like what happened in my game. But to be honest, he's kind of like everywhere. But you can talk with him and buy things. He kind of reminds me of Red from Animal Crossing. Kind of shady, the one who like calls you cousin. Yeah, but you might have some cool things in there. You can purchase like an authentic will. You can gamble. You can try your luck and get something random and receive rare items. But you can also sell fear essence, which is what you get by performing good or evil ghost abilities on like Sims or just like by yourself. Or you can buy souls to help you meet the quota at work for Grim. So it's like a little sneaky loophole if you want. But this is actually a really great way to make some extra simoleons. And last but certainly not least, build by mode. I was very impressed by the items that we received in this pack. Again, we would be here all day if I went through every single one, but I can show you some of my highlights. There's some really beautiful lights that we got in this game. There were a mixture of modern yet castle kind of vibes. I really love the swatches on them, and a lot of the detail that like the candle wax was just like a really cool touch. I really enjoyed them. This is just one painting, but I wanted to show you all the different swatches. These are actually the tarot cards that you'll find around in the game, and I believe I might be wrong, but there are so many. I kind of wish The Sims would have this many swatches on some other items, but I guess this is a good start. I absolutely loved this fireplace. The details of the crows on it were just so neat. I was surprised though to see that we only had one flooring, but I mean, it's a nice flooring. And there are some good swatches. Good for a living room or a dining room, I would say. I would say. There are 10 new wallpapers ranging from some really cool patterns to wood finishing to rock. It's a good array of wallpapers that I can see myself using like for everything. And there are 13 new spots for your sim to pop a squat. I love that. Return of excessive chairs is what I live for. I love it. Again, kind of it's like a mixture between like modern castle vibes, but you guys, this fridge is insane. Alex and I went to Best Buy and we saw something like this and I love it so much. I feel like this is a sign. I need to get it. I'm getting it right now. I'm buying it as we speak. I'm not. I'm broke. Here is actually the crow stand. The color of the crow does not change, but the stand does. It would have been cool if we got some more animals in this pack, but I know it's really hard to make them. These two swinging sets, the one that's more like a gothic castle look and the other one that's like all wood, I love them. And I just love the way that these look. You can actually just like buy a crypt. Yeah, like you can buy it along with the gravestones, but I wanted to show you the 3 swatches for them. One's a little bit more overgrown while the other one is more clean and pretty and the other one is a bit more darker. And I love the way that the glass changes with each one. I can't wait to make a cemetery in this game now that we can kind of just like make them anywhere. It's fantastic. These windows are absolutely incredible. Ranging from small height to tall height, you have a bunch of different types of swatches and I'm obsessed with the one with the shattered glass. Like, are you kidding me? That looks amazing. We also got 4 new fences. I love them. I love the one with the hay. I just think it would work perfectly with Horse Ranch. And just looking at each one, I can see like a different home that I can make for this, which is a really great sign. With that, the doors are so freaking cool, going from like a little wooden door to like this grand door. It just looks so cool. Ranging from the smallest to the tallest height, I love that you can have literally anything for any type of height of wall that you want. A lot of things that I could see though for like castles, which I'm really excited to do too, because you all know I love making castles. If you guys follow me on my Instagram, I love it. And surprisingly, I think I have gone through everything that I can. Now, on to my final thoughts. I'm like looking at all my notes right now, and I think this expansion pack is really packed full of a bunch of brand new lore and deep things that your Sims can do, like as soon as your Sim dies. Like, I love that there's something to do after your Sims die. Having like a topic like that can be really interesting, but for me, I hold things like that really close to my heart, and I really love this pack. It really spoke to me, and I was so sad that I only got to play with it for like 2 days when some people were able to play with it a lot longer, like almost 2 weeks. And I wish I wasn't busy, but I really hope that we were able to get through as much as we could. Please let me know if I did miss anything. Again, I was rushing this, so I hope everything is in here. I do kind of wish that we had one more aspiration than just the one that we have. I do kind of wish that we had another one, but I think that's totally okay considering all the things that you can do, from like making wills to having like this giant career or this bucket list or soul's journey. There's literally so much to do in this pack. It's pretty insane. But again, for me to say that is something that I love might not be something that you love. If you do a lot of gameplay and your Sims die, you know, frequently, and you just like have a game end over, this is gonna be perfect for you. I love the world. I think this fantasy theme looks absolutely incredible, and it just looks amazing. Again, I could always say just wait until the pack goes on sale, because we are starting to get into the colder months. I don't want to say Christmas because, well, I already said it, but because it's not even Halloween yet, and this pack will go out on Halloween. And girl, the Sims, they go on sale all the time. So honestly, if you can wait, I would say wait so you can save a couple of extra bucks here and there. Or it could be something that you could have like on a Christmas list or a birthday list if your birthday is coming. I highly recommend it. I had so much fun playing with the ghosts, especially with the Grim Reaper career, and just like the world in general, the spooky vibes, the bell going off at random time. Like, it's perfect. I love it so freaking much. I think it is so cool. So for me, I would say it is definitely worth it. The build buy was also really freaking cool, considering the fact that it had mixes of modern and kind of like castle gothic theme. You can literally make builds by using this pack, with like making a castle to making a shack. There's things for everything in this pack. I find that they had a really great range of certain things, especially with the Sims creators that were actually making the lots on this world. Such an amazing job. I love all the builds, and I cannot wait for everyone to enjoy them as well. So my final thoughts, yes, I do highly recommend it, but if you're not really into gameplay, then like it's kind of whatever. I would say you could just stick with what you want, but I will say for everyone to at least wait for it to go on sale. If you have the patience to wait a little bit, you totally can, but girl, I totally understand. As soon as things come out, I pre-order them anyway. anyway. So if you guys do decide to purchase it, maybe please consider actually using my code at checkout. I do have to let you know that it is not a discount code, but it actually just helps me as a creator as I get a little portion of the sale. You don't have to pay extra. You're just typing my name in and then clicking enter and then just adding it to your bin.
I'll lie. It's a discount
No,
code.
it's not. And I'm also doing a giveaway for the Life and Death expansion pack up on my Instagram. So if you guys want to check that out, I will also have a link down below as well. But again, I apologize for my voice, you guys. It has just been going off. It's taken me so long to just like read everything. It's just going away, and I'm so sorry. But I hope that you guys like this video. Maybe please consider like, commenting, and subscribing, and let me know, do you want this pack? Let me know what you're excited for. Okay, I'm gonna go now. Okay, bye guys. You wanna see how bad my voice is right now? This is better than it was. The video was gonna go out a lot earlier today, but everything disappeared, so I had to redo everything. So I hope you guys like the video. Okay, bye.